Hello and welcome to episode 535 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, the place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. My name is Vince Hunt and joining me as always is the artist and creator of the epic webcomic series Vanguard, Dan Butcher.
Hello.
And a man whose book collection is growing every day. I mean, seriously.
It's always growing, man.
Seriously, not just his book collection, but his to read pile is growing, but he made a big breakthrough this week. Tony Esmond did something like when he messaged us on WhatsApp, I thought he's lost his fucking mind. Tony Esmond, what did you do with your to read pile?
I didn't fucking destroy it. I made a dent in it. Put it that way. I made a fucking vague dent in it. I probably read almost a long box worth of comics this weekend, and I caught up on a load of stuff. I have thoughts on it. I have many thoughts on the quality of some of the books and the promotion of some of the books, but maybe we'll save that for another day. But
yeah, and
I do.
Just as a little hint, they're not necessarily negative thoughts, listeners. You might be surprised.
Let me give you a wide overview. This week, Alan Moore was on an interview, and I have to say I have a lot of time for Alan Moore. And if you read Tops and Bottoms this week, you'll discover why. But he was rather negative about the state of comics. And I kind of think it's from a man who doesn't really read comics. Yeah. And there's a lot of negativity about comics, and I will say there is a lot of fucking shit comics out there. Especially the price, as we've all discussed.
But we could also say, I mean, apart from the price bit,
there's a lot of shit music, there's a lot of shit movies, a lot of shit TV.
And that's the way it's always been. There's always
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. However, I read an awful lot of good, I'm not going to say great, I'm just going to say good comics this weekend. Good comics that no one is talking about, that I can see. I ran a couple of names past you guys. I know you, Dan, you said, I didn't even know that comic was out. Yeah. There's a lot of sort of good, regular comics coming out. That's all I want. Meat and potatoes, following the story.
Good doesn't get enough love, does it? You know, no one complains about having a good time, do they?
Everything's got to be fucking fantastic. Yeah. It's got to be, fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But there's these comics that are just... There's these comics that are like a nice, let's use a cricket analogy, nice middle innings, you know, like someone cracking out the fours every so often, keeping the fucking the big batter in place. There's a lot of good comics out there that you can follow, and you don't need to follow anything else. You can just follow these comics, and they're good. I mean, the one example I think I quoted to you guys was Red Hulk, which is on its like 8.
Which really surprised me, actually.
Yeah,
it's not a book that I'm going to seek out because Red Hulk isn't really my thing, but it's good to know that.
Yeah, it's just a solid comic, and Machine Man's in it, and Deathlock's in it. Do you remember, like, fucking 5 or 6 years ago, Deathlock was big news because he was appearing in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series, wasn't he? And he had his own, Nathan Edmondson, I think, did a story, comic. Yeah. And you're like...
There was a point when, or was it recently, where Machine Man came back in a big way and he seemed to be fucking everywhere at some point.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Was he? I keep seeing him because you wouldn't see him for like 15 years or something like that. And
that's it. And these are Bronze Age characters who are just like fucking my meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Alongside Thunderbolt Ross, who is just such a layered character in this story. And it's not brilliant. I'm not going to say it's brilliant. It's just like good, solid comics, like Justice League, Justice Society at the moment, or there's loads of them out there that are just good, solid comics. And I just read all these comics and sat there, and I had like 4 issues of that to read through and 4 issues of this other one to read through that I hadn't caught up with. And I just thought, nobody talks about characters anymore. Nobody talks about storylines anymore. People just talk about the cult of personality. Yeah. And I think it's a bad thing. I think if we started talking about fucking you see what Machine Man can do in this comic. He almost dies. He's dragged across this landscape by Deathlock. You think, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, no one will fucking talk about it. And half the time you won't see it in a online article because it'll probably have a clickbait title, or it'll just be like absolutely vapid. You know, so you won't. Yeah. Or they'll just take a screenshot of the promo that they've been emailed without any context. So people, and I've done it. I've looked at preview pages and just been like, and then just gone away from it. But when you see it within the context of the entire issue, it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's a few people doing God's work out there. 11 O'Clock Comics I always recommend. A few people are doing God's work out there. And there's a lot of people on the Slack who are saying this is good comics. Yeah. This is really readable comics, and there's not enough of it. Yeah. Anyway, that's my
mate.
rant.
You agree? Yeah.
There's more of it in tops and bottoms this week, but sort of in general terms, how I felt about it.
And do you know what I mean? It heartens me when you said that. When you sent us that email and stuff, that message, it sort of it made me feel good about it because sometimes, and certainly our listeners possibly, over a certain amount, I think 2025, it hasn't been. Every week we're talking about, oh, this is great. It can feel like you're just on the soapbox whinging about something, or just getting, just be like, this isn't so good anymore, is it? And it's disheartening, and you don't want to be like that. And especially, usually that sort of context is all people can hear, isn't it? They're hearing negative, and hearing that is like, oh, that's the internet I'm here for. Do you know what I mean? That's the content I'm here for. Hearing that, just like, this is good, and I'm like, yeah, brilliant. More of that, please.
I don't know what's happened to the PR companies or the PR within these companies. What are they doing?
Yeah, but I mean,
do they have budget for it anymore? I don't know.
This stuff is happening
pursuing nonsense.
This stuff is happening in Marvel and DC, and I've actively, as I've said a few times on this show, I've actively switched off from those two companies because it's just there was nothing really being sold to me.
Or that you're being sold to you. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Is your perception there's nothing in these comic companies?
Yeah.
I would suggest maybe we should do that one month. I choose a comic from Marvel or DC for us all to read. Yeah. One that I think is just a good comic, just good.
Yeah, man.
We're never going to fucking blow the world up, but
like I said, I'll take competent. I'll take competent over amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Man, I fucking read competent comics all my fucking life. Like, when I was reading like Justice League and stuff, like in Europe, I was like, this isn't fucking amazing. But
when we were reading Battle, when we were reading these sort of things, that's what it was.
All of this stuff that, like, we're very much we're in the nostalgia business, aren't we? Collecting old comics and stuff, and we look at these things like they are the Holy Grail. Like, look at this is fucking amazing, or blah 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 blah. But there's a lot of people that's just, that was a good comic when it came out. Yeah, it was good. But years down the line, what is someone's good could be someone's, that was my favourite book in 10 years. You never know, do you?
We're missing print publications, I think, in the likes of Comics International and Ark and Sword and all these all the fanzines, Fantasy Advertiser, these sort of people, where you would get these little reviews and people would talk about what's going on. Oh, Spider-Man discovers at auntmaysdating.com, and you think, oh, right, fuck. But
man, most of the fucking comic news sites...
find somebody who claims to be a comic journalist and ask them what's happening in fucking Daredevil at the moment. They won't know.
It might be different with like YouTube, people reviewing videos on comics on YouTube, which I don't really kind of get involved in. But a lot of the comic sites that review it have got a political slant, either to the left or the right, and it's like, I'm not interested.
Or they're massively negative or massively positive.
Yeah. Do you think there's also something we said with we're a short attention span society now?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's 6-second clips. It's a reel or something like that, which is some people promote their comics in that way brilliantly.
TikTok brain is a real thing. Yeah, it's an actual diagnosed thing.
And these stories, like I say, they're telling good stories, but some stories you can't tell them in 6 seconds. You can't give them the context.
I don't want them to.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
But even if so, there's an entire market there who are not paying it, who will never get it because they're not being sold it because there's no way to sell it into that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think
we need to get away from the cult personality. I think that's because these people will inevitably let us down. The majority of them will let us down and prove to be fucking tossers. And how many times have we seen that?
Mate, there's something to be said about not knowing the creator.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was reading these books, I didn't give a shit. Like, I just enjoyed the comics and the art. But then sometimes when you find out the creator, like, oh, fucking hell.
And people are layered. People are, there's all different parts to it. People are nuanced, and there's bits of it you won't agree and bits that you will agree. And, like, talk about your comic, fine. Don't talk about something that is going to upset people.
Yeah. It's almost, there's something to be said for idolising a creator after their glory days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we look back and we talk, oh my God, Marv Wolfman's here, or this sort of person being like, oh my God, they're an idol.
Yeah.
Whereas now a lot of people are idolising people in the moment, and false idols. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is one of those because
there's a quote I heard.
People can't live up to that
they can't. That's it. There's a quote I heard this week. Pristine idealism can hurt you when confronted with the truth.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we are doing with these people sometimes.
Yeah. But there are also people who are just out there making good comics, just putting their heads down, and they love the medium. And we've got a brilliant interview coming up in a moment. With one said
segue.
Creator who just wants to make great comics. But before we get into that, Tony, where have you been, you dirty boy?
Slavic ladies near you. Nobody who follows this podcast will have failed to have missed that I've been in Riga, in Latvia. Just thanks to Hal Weaver, who's our recent past guest, now buddy of ours.
Yeah.
Who's
and we spoke about the comic scene there on.
We did a bit,
episode.
yeah, and he introduced me to it actually a bit. So, really interesting place.
Episode 526, by the way. Episode 5.
Thank you very much. Nice. It's gone through some terrible times. And there is a very interesting dynamic between the attitude towards Russia there.
Right.
However, Latvian as a language isn't large enough to support a publishing empire. It does. They do publish occasionally, but most of the stuff tends to be in English or Russian, which is interesting. When you think that previously Russia were the people who had, who'd been there and caused a lot of trouble and continue to. There's a big support for Ukraine in Latvia. I mean, held by the fact that Jana and Hal took me to a Ukrainian restaurant on the last night. Fucking great. If anyone ever goes there, hit me up. What a lovely restaurant. The nicest people as well. But it's got an interesting comics culture. It's got the same in almost in a reduced way. I think there's only like 500,000 people in their biggest city, in Riga. It's population wise. It's also lovely to walk around, man, because you're not rammed in. Yeah, even on a cool night in the bar district, I could walk to the bar. Interestingly, if you're ever in Riga, make sure you go to Clayton McNamara's Drinking Emporium, because it is wallpapered with comic pages. I know that's a bit sacrilegious. They appear to be sort of 90s comics, so it's not too bad. It's full of Star Wars, Planet of the Apes, Star Trek models and posters and Blade Runner posters, and you literally, I sent you pictures, didn't I? You're literally drinking in a room surrounded by comic pages on the walls. It is fucking incredible.
Awesome.
And it's in the old town, so it's in this really beautiful cobbled bit of the town. But yeah, so it has this almost like twofold comic thing from what I can see. You have Comics LV, which is the comic shop, which is half comics, half manga, models, little figures, this sort of thing. And it did have up-to-date US releases as well as Russian translated and English translated trades and fat comics, etc. And then it also has something called Kush, which we're going to talk about a little bit in the recommends, because one of my recommends is from there. And they're their own little publishing house. I'd put them maybe about the size of an Avery Hill, perhaps.
Okay.
When we got there, before I travelled out there, Hal said, "Oh, do you want to go to this event? There's a comic artist doing an event. Her name, excuse me for pronunciation again, Ula Rugavichuti Rugate, and she did a comic about her grandmother who'd suffered under Russian and Soviet occupation. Really interesting, which is a massive thing out there. It really is a big thing out there. And she sort of talked about that, and there's a little bit of a conversation about Ukraine. And we went to a kind of a talk from her, a Q&A from her, and a live reading of the comic. Live reading of comics, we don't see it much over here. It's massive in the US, and it's massive there, apparently. Yeah. Wow. I've been to whole events in America that it's just people reading their comic while it's displayed on a screen behind them.
So it's almost like a script reading in a sense.
It's and in voices, and sometimes you get little casts doing it. Sometimes it's just the creator doing it. It seems to be a thing. I'm going to say more in the sort of air quotes hipster area of the world. But yeah, so we went to that because the local comic shop did stock all this stuff. It's where I got one of them from. And then after that, previous to that, in the afternoon, I don't think you'll mind me saying, Hal's office is in a ex-Soviet movie studio.
Awesome.
That is now a Latvian TV and movie studio. And he showed me around this fucking massive building. And there was like a place where they'd made like stop clip animation and stuff like that. What a place.
That sounds
absolutely
awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. So we ran about, did a bit on the trams, that sort of thing. I would say if you're going to go there as a tourist, do your prep. You'd probably get a good 3 days out of it, just going around. It's surrounded by massive woods, and then it's near the sea and everything. People always think I'm a Finn when I went there. There's 20 odd years between my last visit and my current visit. Last time I went there about 25 years ago, it was a bit of a darker place. A lot of sort of more beggars, stuff like that. I was drinking quite heavily and broke my ribs whilst there. But this time, just a dream.
Was it on purpose so you could reach it?
Yeah, exactly. I'd had a couple of taken out and a couple of ribs taken out just to get that extra bend in. But just a beautiful historic town, just really interesting. Yeah, I'd recommend it. And it's I think it's 2.5 hours from Heathrow. I don't know.
Nice.
But yeah, it's good, really good. I like to go to places that you wouldn't normally go to. Put it that way. And that was one of them, I think. Yeah.
Broadens your mind and also opens your eyes to comic scenes in other destinations. Yeah. Which is one thing.
Which is, I know, just quickly interrupt you. I know you're about to segue. Is it brings us together, man. We talk about that coming up. Yeah. But we're all comic fans around the world, and there's a number of nations over the last week that we've communicated as a group with, and it just brings us together. It really does.
Yeah. Comics are the best, and when they're made by people who truly care about the medium, they're even better.
Universal.
Absolutely universal. And to speak about, never mind an intro. Should they just listen to this awesome interview now?
Do it.
Blades, blood, gods, monsters, and warriors. All part of a healthy diet. And you can get all of that and more in the series Godhark, which has been mentioned on the show a few times.
Yes.
And this week we're very pleased to be joined by the man behind it, Sean Manaloto. I think I've got that right, and I've messed it up many times, but welcome to the show, Sean.
Thanks, guys, for having me. I've been looking forward to this. This is my first ever comics podcast I've ever
been. With us.
Man.
Oh, we're honoured, my friend.
Yeah.
It can only get better as well, Sean.
Only ways up.
Thank you.
Yeah, we put the bar quite low on this show, so it's only better from here. But no, seriously, man, thank you for joining us. I know you're based in the Philippines, and it is an ungodly hour. I mean, I know you're a busy man. You stay up working on all kinds of projects anyway, but thank you very much for talking with us today. It seems like comics just absolutely fuels you. I think it fuels a lot of people when the night owls in us that like to stay up late and working. But before we get stuck into what a maniac you are for staying up and making comics until the wee hours, Godhark itself, people may know the name, or perhaps for new listeners, what exactly is the series about?
Okay, so Godhark is something I've been stewing in my brain for the better half of my life. Well over, I would say, almost 2 decades now. And it didn't start out the way it did now, but before the pandemic hit, I thought it was a great opportunity for me to finally work on it. Like, I thought my art skills were adequate enough, and my storytelling were adequate enough in order to do that. And basically, if I were to summarize Godhark, it's about an industrial fantasy world in which 3 gods have waged war and none of them survived it. And because for millennia, the mortal population, they're so used to being with gods and having divinity and all that, they're looking for ways to replace those gods, and most of it is through steel, and that's what's being explored right now. It's like through steel, so through battle. So it's an action fantasy comic, essentially.
And it
straight from the first issue, it goes straight off the rip. It's I think I've saw some of your designs for characters it must have been on Twitter or X, and I was like, oh man, I got to look in this. And then seeing when you get the issues and you kept up the quality and the level of character design and detail in it, it's amazing stuff, dude. It's really good.
Thanks so much, man.
Because you make we've talked about character design quite a lot on this show with creators and stuff, and certainly Dan has sort of said, make the costumes easy enough, so because if you've got to draw them over and over, but you're doing quite detailed characters that aren't limited to conventional symmetry or design or anything like this. It's one thing to do it on a 3D or a video game, some sort of 3D model that you can just move. But when you've got to draw it over and over and over, Is that something that you're just totally used to, or are you deciding now, like four issues in, why did I do this to myself?
Okay, well, most of the time it's getting used to it. Because for book one, for the first 6 issues, I consider that whole arc book one. So for those issues, I kind of winged everything. So the characters that you see, most of the characters that you see, I draw them on the page itself. I don't have a character sheet. It's purely by gut. So I just get used to drawing that. If I feel like this is the right amount of detail, I have a philosophy actually where it's detailed enough to be a McFarlane statue, and it's just it doesn't have too much detail. Like the detail's not so overwhelming that it can't be animated. That's kind of like my philosophy.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So I applied that until now. Actually, for the second arc, my wife's doing the character designs for most of the characters in that. So her designs are so, well, they're all banger designs, and they're
don't upset her, Sean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we share that same philosophy going forward, and it's most of the time it's getting used to it.
Yeah. I was because you were our first. I think you were our first ever guest from the Philippines. I think I'm fair in saying that, guys.
I think so. Yeah.
And I was trying to figure your influences, Sean, and I was thinking there's a lot of Image comics. And now that you say McFarlane, it kind of connects with that scene. Is that something that influenced you coming up in comics, or who did, if you see what I mean?
Well, yeah. Before I could read, I was a very visual reader, so I was pretty much introduced to comics before, like novels, before prose and poetry. But honestly, Spawn was a big thing for me, right. even before Superman, and the mainline DC and Marvel cast of characters. I was introduced to like the dark stuff, like Spawn. I would say Hellboy. Like Hellboy was really important in my formative years, and I take that. I try to take Mignola's design. I try to dissect his design philosophy and attribute it to my own work. Although my work is it's got a little bit of like Ridley Scott detail here and there, where it's like nicks in the armor and stuff like that. Although I do see it. Like Mignola is huge for me. It's a huge influence because it's simple, but there's so much density in it, and I try to capture that. So
I kind of feel that the cliche for Mignola is that people live in the shadows, where I don't perhaps see that as much with you. Everyone's in the light almost. What do you think of that? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, in terms of like the hike, I think what I take most from the art, especially of Mignola, is the contrast, where it's not as dimly lit as most of Mignola's paneling. Most of his art is definitely just like one light source, and then the rest is just like atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
I kind of have I kind of show off my Magic the Gathering nerdy days, where I used to come from a painting background. Like the moment me and a few mates of mine started playing like Magic the Gathering in college, I was like, wow, it seems like I can try to do this stuff, because it was like such a big it had such an impression on me. And so I feel like my painting influence is still there. It's not all Mignola for sure. It's not all Image for sure. It's not all comics for sure. It's also, trading card game stuff. So
I think there's a lot to be said for. I mean, people talk about like Magic the Gathering or Dungeons and Dragons or whatever tabletop role playing games and things like that. And people think about the games themselves, but I think there's an unsaid influence to a lot of these sort of comics and artists.
The artwork.
And that is the amazing artwork for all of these cards, all of these games. A lot of the time it's unsaid, but the designs, the look of the scenes, sometimes.
Like a paperback novel per card, almost,
and it's like the evolution of the classic, Frazetta, just a moment in time, these epic fantasy moments that you're just seeing, and like now there's just so much of it everywhere, and all of these artists. It's interesting how all of those artists were influenced by, Vallejo and Frazetta and things like that, and now there's a new generation of artists who are influenced by the Magic the Gathering. I mean, the shame of it all is, and shame on me for not knowing some of these artists' names, but sometimes we just don't because they're so hidden within, whether it be Wizards of the Coast or whoever's publishing it. It doesn't have a signature on the card, doesn't it, saying this is this person who's done this. A person has to look into it. But I think it's nice. I mean, I think you're the first person to sort of bring up that influence of art.
Yeah.
It's certainly it's an art that I adore. Seeing these, I love seeing like just a moment in time. I always have of like fantasy and stuff like that, and you just look at a picture and just think, well, what's happening there? Whether
we never had anything else, did we? Back when we were young, we didn't have the animated movies and the live action CGI movies. We just had that single image on the front of a paperback or in the front of a box, and sometimes that translated into everything we then imagined.
And I think that creates storytellers within us, doesn't it? That's a seed that makes you think, okay, well, what's happening here?
You project onto it as opposed to being hand-fed what it is.
Was that something that you found for you, Sean? Like when you're looking at this artwork and the words on the cards seem to disappear and you're just staring at a bit of artwork thinking, what's happening here?
Because you don't scrimp on story, man. There's loads in each issue, aren't there? That's not like
God,
that.
Yeah.
Actually I've been my art really never had direction until I was introduced by a friend of mine in college to Magic the Gathering. And it was like insane. Like I remember the first artists that I recall being hugely influential on my work being Dave Raposa, Chris Ron, and Jason Chan. These artists like Johannes Voss and Jana Schermer, and it really helps that they put the artist name on the lower right of the card too. Or was it the lower left?
Did they rewrite with Magic? Did they do that with Magic?
Yeah, they do that all the way at the bottom. I can't tell. I can't remember if it's like all the way to the bottom left or the right, but yeah, it's all the way at the bottom of the print. So it was really helpful, and it opened. Well, what can I say? It opened like a whole new world to me, and that became my basis for. Well, that wormed its way into my comics, so to speak. So yeah.
So the story-wise, did the kind of playing the kind of Magic Gathering stuff help kind of influence or guide the story? Was he always going to go out and tell her like a sword and sorcery comic?
Oh, actually not. Story-wise, no. Magic the Gathering for me was purely like art and and like gameplay. Story-wise, actually, that's a good question. I mean, I clearly have played a lot of RPGs growing up. Dragon Age comes to mind, so I guess.
Oh, that was going to be one of the influences.
Vince loves Dragon Age.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Dragon Age fan. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan, although like like the world that Dragon Age has built.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that was it Mike or Mark Dara and the others have built. It was super good. It was the right amount of dark and the right amount of whimsical for me. And so like
and the art style as well, because I've got like the art books of the video games, and seriously, listeners, like if you're a creator who's a fan of a video game and you're using just using the video game as influence, see if there's an art book available, because sometimes they don't get shouted about, these art books sometimes, but they are beautiful hardbacks normally that are that are big books, and it's just filled with inspiration.
Classic coffee table.
Oh, it's amazing stuff.
No, it's interesting because in the beginning of Godhark, like reading the first issue, you're straight away into the world. There's like you get a map of like the world we're looking at, and then these factions are introduced to one another that seem fully rounded, fully formed, and they're interacting and they're talking about like political situations between them and the past. How much of that did you have built up before you started, or was it just you had a rough idea and you was doing it on the fly?
Yeah, it was definitely the rough idea. I had little to no planning going into it. I just knew I needed to do it. Like it's a very artsy way of doing things where it's just really by gut. It's really raw. So I had a few characters who made it from the first draft, which were made all the way back in 2017. So 2019 is when I started really like pitching this. I'll tell that story later, but yeah, I started to pitch Godhark 0 through 2 to a local publisher at the end of 2018. But yeah, it's really like a rough idea of these things. There's not like a whole load of backstory about the factions yet. I just knew that there had to be like an Eastern monarchy and a Western sort of monarchy as well. I guess it's a monarchy as well because they have like a pope over there. So like there's that, and then there's also like the forest people and your typical fantasy allegorical, like sections of things.
I do love. I'm guessing you're Catholic, Sean, are you?
No. Well,
culturally?
I was raised Catholic, but
yeah, me too, man. I love. Yeah. I'm an ex-Catholic as well. I love writing about the Pope. Don't we love the Pope, man?
Yeah, I mean, he's like he's got everything in that vault, right? The Vatican vaults have like all those demons there that he just like tortures every day. Yeah.
such a good thing to write about. Yeah, no, I agree. Yes. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem.
I didn't ever carry on reading that Vatican City. Did anyone get to the end of reading that?
I own the last issue. I haven't read it yet. I must read it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Speaking of the Pope and Vatican City.
Yeah, the Ring of Solomon is there. That's my theory.
All right. Yeah.
He's got it. Yeah. Sorry.
You mentioned there, Sean, as well about local publishers. So I suppose it gives us a chance to have a little chat about what the scene is like out there in the Philippines. Do you have like? I've seen that you have conventions. I think I've seen on your Instagram you have conventions and stuff, don't you?
Oh yeah. Surprisingly, comics is very much alive here in the Philippines. It turns out we have a rich history over here of like old heads having been outsourced by Marvel.
Oh, and the UK, man. Yeah. We mined your country for genius artists. I've got to say for years. Yeah, no, I love it. Some great people.
And it's like just like Magic the Gathering. It's like a whole world opened up to me once I caught wind of my local publisher on Facebook. I was like, oh, a call for entries for local comics. I'll give it a shot. So yeah, I saw it through Facebook. This was around the time where I had an issue, 2 issues, issue 0 and issue 1 like fully completed. I was considering selling them up on Gumroad, which I do still. And thank you guys for supporting me over there. It means a lot. Anyway, yeah. So there was that, and then I received a call. I was like, "Would you like to pitch? Would you like to come up with a pitch, and then we'll meet you here on October 2018?" And I was like, "Oh, geez, is this serious?" And I was such a greenhorn that I was like, "Do you guys mind spoilers? How much of the story should I expose to you guys? Because it was my first time doing any of that, and the pitch was terrible." The pitch was horrible, honestly. Like, I went overtime, and I wasn't even halfway through burning through that, like what I had planned. And when when it came down to it, like their ultimate question was like, okay, what is everyone in the story? You have so many characters. What are they all fighting for? And I was like, they just want to make the world a better place, And then everyone was like, it's not really a resolution. It's not really like a goal. You have to be more. You have to be less vague. And I was like, damn, it's back to the drawing board, I guess, for me. So like after that, I felt so like, I felt like, man, should I scrap this thing or just keep going? But they said just to keep going. So
I imagine the characters, as you write them and draw them, they would evolve to have different wants and likes as the story goes on, and you kind of figure out for yourself. I mean, if you asked anyone what the plan was for the end of the comic, and they didn't really have a rough idea, you would say, well, just to make everything better and beat the bad guys, wouldn't you? And I guess that won't fly if you're trying to
or just pull a Kirkman and say, oh yeah, the aliens arrive, which is what he did with Walking Dead, wouldn't it? Apparently, yeah.
Amazing.
Mate, I've got Sean, while you're on, and I do this all the time, and apologies, I've got to talk about some of the, like you say, some of the old heads. Have you met many of the? Because I know Ernie Chan, Nestor Redondo, Tony DeZuniga. There's a lot of guys from the Philippines who are just legends at Marvel and DC. Have you managed to interact with any of those guys? I think Mike Del Mundo I think he might be originally from the Philippines as well. I think.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, it would be an honor to meet Nestor Redondo, but I have met Tony DeZuniga.
Oh, nice.
My first ever convention, the first ever convention that I went to in the Philippines was in 2011. It was their Comic Con. It's a Comic Con but with a K, with like every C is replaced with a K.
Oh,
So
okay.
I had a portfolio all in traditional, and I showed it to him and his wife, and this was, I believe he passed a few years ago, but after 2011, and he said, well, he didn't really have much in the way of like telling me. He didn't really give me advice. He more of like just said, like do good. So so I'm like, yes, sir. So I feel like I'm doing that. I feel like I'm doing him proud right now. So but that's my first interaction with any of the old heads. Who, I mean, he worked on Jonah Hex and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
mate, he's so good.
He's a legendary figure now.
I've got a framed Ernie Chan in front of me from Master of Kung Fu. He's another
great
fucking geezer. We were talking about him just this morning. Yeah, incredible. One of the best thinkers over Buscema, I think.
Yeah,
as well. And an artist in his own right as well. Sorry to interrupt the flow.
Hey, no problem.
No.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
It's interesting seeing some of the confos. You've got a prop made from Emirates weapon, and like you get people to pose it and take pictures.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right.
I bet that goes down well.
Oh, it does. I whip it out exclusively for Super Manila Comic Con, which is kind of like our NYCC, SDCC, what have you. That's kind of like where everyone goes. Like when Stanley Lau was there, our joke was this line stretches all the way to the airport. Like it's the biggest. It's the biggest Comic Con in our country by far, and we have quite. I was surprised also to find out that there was this huge comics market here. So I do that like almost every other month. The Komiket, it's what you call it.
Yeah. That's also a website that you sell your comics through. Is that right? Just looking online, Sean. Is that part of it?
Yeah, they're the local publisher, and they do distribute the book one. It's in its entirety throughout the country.
Oh, nice one!
Wow,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. Vince.
I was just going to say it's fascinating because, like, you know, no matter where you are in the world, is your comics bubble. Do you know what I mean? You know, apart from the loud, you know, the horn of the US that's blowing and that we know all about, all the other countries,
they won't shut up.
But everyone is so completely unaware of the, you know, and it's purely like, you know, in the UK, there's many people. I mean, we know about the European scene, more so probably over the past decade, things like that. And I think we need to be more aware of like the Philippines and all these shows that like there's the small-minded people out there that are just sort of like, oh, well, it'll just be a little show somewhere in the middle of nowhere. But these are quite big shows. These are big shows.
Oh yeah, they are. They're absolutely massive, and I'm surprised to see a lot of people like who are into this stuff. Honestly, like the art, like I mean, it's not just comics. It's like art in general. Like buying prints. Like this is a whole.
That's amazing.
Again, this is like, you know, everything I ever dreamed of as an artist growing up. You know, it's like, wow, these are like legitimately supportive people who like having posters of like cool shit on their walls and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know, like.
It makes me feel so good that like comics around the world are being made and being appreciated. I mean, what's the kind of the small press scene like in the Philippines? Is there a lot of people that do make their own comics?
Also, again, a surprising amount. Like I've made a few colleagues in the comics industry, the local comics industry. And yeah, it's just again, it's like insane. Like when you get exposed to that world, it's like a lot of people I want their voice to be heard, and I'm just like someone in large pool of them. And yeah, it's really heartening to see that you're not alone, and that, you know, there are really creative. It's a community. It's a huge community of people. So it's awesome.
It's weird you were saying that, Sean, because I was thinking the same when you were talking about getting creative during lockdown and during COVID and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and it's amazing how comics brings us all together, because we were doing the same here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was going on the same. You've got a convention, you got fans who come along. It's the same almost. It's this with you could transplant yourself into Thought Bubble or us into your convention, and it would be the same. It's incredible how it brings us together. That's all. That's not really a question, more of a comment. But
it fit in so easily. Like, I'd love to go around those cons. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah. And I think that you're, in a way, I kind of see your art as more in line with the US bande dessinée kind of style of art. But do you also have that element like we do of having manga as well as part of the market?
Well, honestly, I only started. Actually, I haven't read any manga at all.
Right.
I mean, Berserk is hugely popular. I've seen them. Some Vagabond is hugely popular. If I were to say I had a favorite manga, it's Vagabond because of how it stands out. But I haven't really read those things. So it's just comics, video games, heavy metal. Like those are like the three. Those are like the three things.
Awesome.
Speaking my fucking language.
No, dude, it's like the three things that I put in the witch's brew in the cauldron and just stir it up, and then that's like what comes out of my body of work, basically.
Yeah.
I can see that.
You can see all of that. You put all of that into the vat, and it comes out like as these beautiful pages and these beautiful character designs. But I also want to talk about the writing of it, because you're swinging big with the writing as well. This is like, we have read many fantasy comics that really do, no matter what they are, but there's almost a poorly written is the wrong way to put it, but there's almost they're so contemporary in their dialogue and their language that it doesn't feel like you're in a fantasy setting. It feels like the background is a fantasy setting, but they're all speaking like we are.
Speaking like they speak on Twitter.
And with Godhark, immediately, bang, you are in this world, you're dropped into it, and the prose is big, bombastic. You've got quotes. The book starts with quotes. The literacy.
The Westerners speak one way, the Easterners speak their own way.
Yeah.
There's a poetry to a lot of it, man. I really liked it. Yeah.
So in terms of like the writing for it, what were your sort of influences and thoughts like that? Because it's one thing to just think, I've got some cool character designs, I'm going to make a fantasy comic, and that's when we see the problem of like...
Yeah, there's those two extremes, I think, Vince. There's the extreme of like talking like you're on Twitter, which a lot of people tend, sadly, to write like, and then there's you're going too far down the confusing, Lord of the Rings language.
Grab thine sword.
But how did you find a ground that was believable, but also set in a period?
Okay, so like all the way back, the easy answer is the Legacy of Kain games. So I'm saying Vince.
Awesome. Man, that's fucking great.
I'm getting a.
We're totally alienating Tony here.
Yeah,
I've never played a video game.
I'm getting a violent.
I'm going with it.
Bombastic villain speak. Ahoy.
So basically, back when I was 6. My uncle had a Dreamcast, a Sega Dreamcast, and there was this game called Soul Reaver, and I was like, "What is this? This looks different from everything I've played. Everything up until then that I've played was like, what a 6-year-old would play." So I was like, "This looks edgy as hell. Let's boot it in." The intro traumatized me, dude. The intro to that game was like, I didn't understand anything. All I know is this guy gets his wings ripped off and thrown into a river of fire. Yeah. And I was like, and I couldn't.
As a 6-year-old.
I was 6, and I didn't really progress. And like you have the voice actor Tony J, just like this big booming baritone voice commanding you, just like teaching you the controls basically. And I'm like, I can't, sir, I can't follow this. Yeah. I'm too scared.
and it's also serious grown-up storytelling. Do you know what I mean?
No, it is. It stands out at the time because no one was taking script writing, story, and voice acting seriously in video games in 1990s. I want to say, it's just mid 1990.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically when.
6, 7. I think Soul Reaver came out 6. Or was it 7?
Yeah, like around the time I was born, basically. So like when it scared the bejesus out of me, but it also left me with such a great impression that I started seeking out similar stories. I started dissecting the dialogue. I mean, no one in that game is poorly acted. Everyone is like stellar. And so I had an affinity from an early age to seek out that kind of Shakespearean, but not, well, I mean, the way I write, it isn't like super Shakespearean. It's not like, oh, thine blade is sharpened, and I shall 1,000 angels shall scream upon thee. No, not really. Because
we're not talking Warhammer.
Yeah, exactly. yeah.
Or
so
my sex life.
All your sex life.
Yeah. So
let's put him off. Look, I'll put you off there, Sean. Sorry. You're making all kinds of visions now, aren't you? Don't leave that alone.
But yeah, you kind of have to get you kind of presumably your head into that writing space of like, right, these characters sound like this, and
yes,
you go for it, and you commit.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, like I mean, Legacy of Kain was like that for its time. That was the influence, and then it became stuff like the more recent games. Like I mentioned Dragon Age, I mentioned Darksiders. Well, I haven't mentioned Darksiders, but Darksiders is another thing where it's like UK voice acting, and I love that stuff. Like I can't believe I'm surrounded by them right now. It's like, and Jesus,
that was a Joe Madureira designed. Joe Madureira.
Yes,
was it?
Yeah.
Man, it's such a comic place. Your country. It's like I just texted the boys, so I've forgotten Will Spatasio is Filipino, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I haven't met him, but yeah, he's
a
really
fucking
big
beast.
Yeah.
And just so we can be clear here, before about 84 people off our Slack messaged me why I didn't mention them: Rudy Nebres, Alex Nino, and Jerome Pinier as well. Just so I just got the names in because I know
so worried about our Slack.
you didn't mention them. Yeah, so there you go.
I was going to say, if you've got your links to your sort of compatriots that are doing comics over there, send them over to us because we'd love to check out.
Straight
more
away.
Books, yeah.
Sure, yeah, I've got a long list you could check out. I'll happily send them to Dan on
Twitter.
send
them to me on Twitter.
If they're anything like your Mark,
half the standard is yours.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like the dialogue and everything, then was it? I mean, there's such a confidence to what everyone's speaking. Like there's confidence in what the characters are saying. Like, and there's a lot of different characters.
You got a big cast, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'd imagine you're an artist first, yes? As a creator.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
We've had many artists who writing when they write for themselves sometimes there is a certain trepidation, there's a nervousness. Am I saying this right? Some artists don't write words at all. You can clearly tell sometimes when an artist is writing for themselves because there's minimal speech and there's lots of action scenes.
That's right.
Whereas you've got a good balance of both. There's some dialogue with a lot going on in action scenes. Is that something you're more confident in with each issue in terms of your confidence as a writer and the actual dialogue and things that are going on?
Actually, I'm more comfortable writing the dialogue.
Okay.
The fight scenes can be a real bitch sometimes, honestly, and that's what makes the months-long gaps between two issues. Because thankfully the pandemic allowed me to work on it full time. Book one, I mean. So that's 0 to 6. But the dialogue, I like to think of the story as very reactive. So when I set something up, I mean, the first thing, of course, was spoilers, I guess, but it's not. I mean, it's the setup. It's when the three gods die, right? So and then everything just branches out from that. Everything is a reaction to that. Every character is like trying to do something in response to that. And I made sure that the West speaks a certain way, the East speaks a certain way. Well, in English, if I were to put it bluntly, because everyone speaks West tongue to an extent. Yeah. So I mean, one of the main characters, Hisaru, is Eastern, like all the way. It shows in her design. She's the big horned lady. And
great design, man.
But thank you. Really proud of that design, and also like the way she speaks, the way she carries herself. She's a very, very matter of fact, very, she's a reliable narrator.
Shit done.
Yeah, exactly. So,
if you ever get anyone cosplaying that, by the way, Sean, I'll give you my address after.
Take photos.
Okay.
There's a great one. She has that. There's a moment where she has, without spoilers, she has a dream sequence and she gets confronted, and she's a really powerful character, both in kind of like a character and a frame, and she gets absolutely humbled, and it's like. It's a great little sequence.
Her character design has an eye patch, and there's a moment with her eye that I actually
Oh, yeah.
winced.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about using that. When we do this, when we do the Substack, we have like a little player image to put in the player, and I've taken that out. What you're talking about there, Vince, to put in the player
because it's such a oh god, horrible.
Get people to click on that. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm glad I was able to elicit such a reaction because
yeah.
And there's so much stuff in there's so much stuff in like book one where I get people like pointing these things out to me, like specific parts in the story where I'm like, I never really thought it would make anyone react this way. So
you can never tell, can you? Sometimes,
it's like the joys of being a writer. Like some people really, like you just get it from everywhere. Like the responses from people is just like amazing. So anyway, sorry, I cut you off, Dan. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, when you have readers reacting positively to a character and the way you write them, it's really fulfilling. It's kind of like, oh man, I'm writing this character to kind of betray something, and people are getting it, and it feels great. It's I mean, you probably you get feedback when you're at cons, but when you're bringing these comics out and you're releasing them to people, you're sort of like thinking, well, what do people think of these? Because
especially when you're locked up alone during lockdown, it's like there's no feedback, is there? You're just creating something.
Yeah.
So, am I doing? Did you ever in those moments you think, am I doing the right thing? Is this working?
I take it you run it past your good lady, do you? Because you were saying she insists on it, or
okay. So with book one, with book one, I mostly had no help, and I mostly didn't show it to anyone because there was my publisher had also gone quiet.
Okay.
Right until the end. Where the guy in charge of it all of Komiket, Paulo Heras, he's like the co-founder of that whole publishing company, and he's like a huge comic supporter. He's the guy who like shows us to the world, the Philippines, basically. He's kind of like our Lord and Savior, so to speak. He's like our Silver Surfer, basically. So so he's done some great work, and he's really helped me flesh out, especially the last few pages of book one. And that's the most advice that I've gotten for book one. It's like he said, okay, Sean, everything's great. Maybe put a little bit of exposition over here, and the last one has to be bombastic. You can't hold back. Add a few more pages, and then we'll get it published. We get it published on September 22, which coincided with the international book fair, the local international book fair we had. So it was a crazy launch, and that was like right after the pandemic. That's when people were convinced the pandemic was over. September 2022. Yeah, so that's when it came out. That's the most advice I've had for the book one.
But you've got your wife involved in the comic now as well. I know you said she's designing characters for upcoming issues.
Yeah, so she's the concept artist for the characters, and she's actually gonna do a bit of writing, but that's for like later on. And it's our comic now, so I met her during the pandemic when the pandemic locked down. We hadn't been married yet, but midway through 2021 we got married formally, and she was like super supportive all the way up to the book's release. So and then she decided like she had a few ideas also for some of the characters moving forward into the second book. So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
But with another concept artist creating character, like know, there's obviously a collaboration process. Is there have you ever had a character just been like, I can't draw this over and over and over again because
she's trying to torture me with this design?
Yeah.
Okay. No, there has not been one because it is a collaborative process, and she's super into fashion. So, and she's also like she's a fan of like Invincible and also a lot of like the Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the 90s anime, you know, Cowboy Bebop.
Nice.
Yeah. So
like,
she takes elements
is she sort of
from
designing characters like from other places that we haven't necessarily seen in the
cultures
in the
rather
first
than
of arc. So you're going to see different sort of styles of clothing and stuff like that. Is that how it's working?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I can tell you that she redesigns Emrit and Hisaru. I mean, she gives them new outfits, and they're a joy to draw. Like I enjoyed drawing those more than I drew like their book one selves, because I feel like book one was so, because I feel like book one had there was something about book one that didn't satisfy me in terms of their designs. So it's nice that it feels so good, because most of the outfits in book two are like textured now. There's different textures going around. Like you'll have you'll have scales, snake skin, you'll have metal there, and it's as an artist, it just feels good to like flesh those things out, and it's just fun. I think book two is like what we're making is just purely fun, and working on it is also really fun, and that's like the bedrock of everything. It just
and I think it comes across in the pages without a doubt. It is fun, and easily sort of translatable no matter where you are in the world. And the story's like, it's a big world, big stakes, book two and everything, and you've hit the ground running. Is there an end game? Is there a goal line that you have in, or are you just at this point now as we speak, is there a goal line, or are you just sort of like, let's see where this story takes us?
Well, yes, there is a beginning and end. The middle is the tricky part, so I'm working on that. But yeah, there is an end goal, and the hard part with the end goal is trying to separate it from other stories that I have come across. Like I don't want it to be like I don't want it to be like some people don't get what they want, some people get what they want. But we'll see how that pans out. But I will tell you that there is a goal in mind, and I haven't necessarily planned out how many books I'm making, because I don't know. I just love making books at this point.
Yeah.
So like, just having fun. I guess cliche as it sounds, I'm just trusting the process in terms of like the comics and stuff,
and having fun with it. That's the point.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think having that when you're creating a story like this, having an endpoint you're aiming for is preferable. Whenever I've read books where people have that, they read a lot better, because there's like we're going somewhere, rather than just kind of like aimlessly flailing around trying to find where the characters are going. When you're aiming to an endpoint, that may change as the story goes along, and you think, well, actually, I'm going to divert it. But you can certainly tell sometimes when
you're floating around like that, Dan. Like especially, you have to be careful not to fall in love with supporting characters who aren't the main character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that. Sometimes you create characters and you're like, I really like this character.
Yeah.
But they're not the main part of the book. They were never the main DNA of the book. So don't overdo them. Do you know what I mean? Have you had any characters that you've created that you've liked more the further the story's gone on?
Well, actually, yeah, I do have. Well, that one character that comes to mind is the guy with the Knight Commander, actually. Barracus. He's the greatsword guy from the Iron Syndicate greatsword guy. I didn't really appreciate him much when I first made it. I'm like, okay, these guys need a Knight Commander. He's gotta stick out more. Like he's gotta have horns and like this cape thing, and he's got a greatsword too. So like he stands out. He's definitely of like a higher rank. Like he's gotta look like he's of a higher rank than like the two others that accompany him. So like I didn't really give him much thought. At first, I'm like, they kind of need a Knight Commander leading them through the story. These soldiers, they need a Knight Commander. And then when it reached like issue 4, I was like, I gotta take this guy seriously, because at that point in the story, he's having like this. I wouldn't say it's like a crisis of faith, but he's getting less jovial and more like this is where it's hitting the fan. We have to take this seriously.
More motivational, I'm guessing. Is that right? Or
it's like he's more adamant now to succeed than ever. And I'm like, you know what? It's a shame if this guy had no development at all. And so I translated that into like his weapon, where I'm just gonna say it's not an ordinary greatsword. It's like a surprise greatsword that you're gonna find later on. And then there's also like I'm also fleshing out like his backstory, because in issue 2 there's a bit of backstory where like there's a reason why he hates the villain of the story, why he hates the whole deal like of like blood magic, of sanguine sorcery, and so to speak. And so I was like, I can't just leave him as a one note like this because
needs to flesh it out a bit more.
Yeah, it's like
plus his face is hidden as well, so it makes it slightly more difficult. I'm going to guess. Is that right?
Yeah, it's more the horned guy.
Yeah, he's the guy with the horns and the beard.
Oh, I'm still talking about
sorry.
Sorry.
The Red Knight, my bad.
Oh yeah, the Red Knight Lorison. He's a great character to write too. He's mostly is my being an asshole projected into writing form. So he's that guy. But yeah, who I'm talking about is Barracus, and I was like, he wasn't meant to develop. But issue 3 onwards, as funny as it sounds, I could see how much trouble this was for him. Like the whole story was for him, and like the weight of the events that were happening. Like I could tell that it's got to him, and I kind of got sympathetic because he's an older man. So
I think that's a good way to put it as well. Like supporting characters, and the way you put it there, it's the weight of everything that's happening and how it affects the supporting characters is a good way to show. Because sometimes we're so locked in with the the Superman versus Lex Luthor and everything's going on that how do we show the effect of actually what's happening? And it's within those supporting characters who aren't at the front. I think
we can judge the forward use of a side character these days, can't we? We're so sort of used to the narrative structures and stuff. Yeah. We know if somebody appears, we kind of think, well, he's a one-off. Or we know if someone appears, we think, oh, he's coming back.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of uncanny to that.
Oh, they're just going to kill this character off. Do you know what I mean?
You can see that some of them you just think that, don't you? Yeah.
Whereas I don't know who's going to die in Godhark, which makes it a must read.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Everyone's at risk. That's a great name for a comic as well, by the way. I'd like to say.
Yeah.
Godhark.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Actually, if I may tell you the origin story of that name.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't called Godhark initially. It was this I just thought it would be fun to call it Eldritch Engines. And when I pitched it, that was the name of the comic. When I pitched it to my local publishers, they were like, why is it called Eldritch Engines? And I'm like, I have no idea. It sounds cool. And then they're like, okay, well, make it make sense. And I was like, okay, racking my brain around this. And then I joined my friend's Discord call one day. And then for some reason, my friend searched it up on a site because it was my intention to make a site for the comic, which I haven't done yet. So,
and too busy making all these comics.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly.
It's only 7 hours in a day.
Sean, lazy. That's what I'm going to say.
Exactly. Well, so he searched up eldritchengines.com and saw that it was some kind of fashion site or like a site where they sell clothes. And I was like, that's not good. That's not good at all, because if I were to make a site, even if it's Eldritch Engines comic, this site could blow up. Eldritch Engines, the fashion line, could blow up one day, and then I'll be like, there's gonna be a lawsuit. And I was like,
my new website is called Porn Pub.
That's safer, man.
That's good idea.
That's safer than Eldritch Engines the comic. So I was like, all right, this is not gonna fly at all. And then I just started, and then I was like, Godhark. Okay, what if it's called Godhark? And then my friends were like, no idea what that means, but okay. I mean, I searched up Godhark. It doesn't appear on the Google searches and whatnot. And I was like, okay, so it's Godhark now. And then, believe it or not, that name, changing the name from Eldritch Engines to Godhark, gave the story its inciting act. It's whole purpose. Because Eldritch Engines didn't have it didn't really have a goal. It was just 3 gods died. Now what? We're just fighting. We're just fighting amongst the ruins of a world that's so distraught with the deicide, basically. So, but sorry.
I was gonna say, I wish I had a friend like yours who would have come back and said, Dan, don't call your comic Vanguard. Because that.
Also,
there's something to be said about, does it sound like a cool metal band as well? Eldritch Engines is sort of the sort of band who I probably wouldn't go and see. I'd probably presume a little bit prog. But Godhark,
it is
you're jumping around the front with Godhark, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're in the mosh pit for Godhark. Eldritch Engines, I'm probably sat down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Royal Albert Hall situation with Eldritch Engines, but
It is a little bit. Yeah, good point. Well made. Yeah.
Yeah, but Godhark is more of like like Wacken or something. If you guys are
nice. Yeah,
Download Festival.
Yeah,
Download Festival.
Bloodstock.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
Bloodstock. Yeah, dude. We should talk more, Vince.
Yeah. Here we go.
So when I changed it to Godhark, in lore, what the Godhark actually is, it's more of like it's known that the God song is like the prayer that the people of that world of Mirdath, the realm, the God song is sort of like a general like prayer of the masses. So, and then the Godhark is the answer to that prayer. That's kind of like in lore. They're more than just like a group of people trying to become gods. They're a group of people that are like the answer to the world's prayers, so to speak. Yeah. So that's like where that.
Dude, you could turn this into a killer like tabletop RPG.
Yeah,
you've got the story, you've got all the characters, the artwork.
Figures. I mean, seriously, listeners, like
yeah, we do need action figures for this. Yeah.
If you haven't seen, McFarlane, if you're listening, mate, come on.
Name drop twice.
Yeah,
please listen.
Get on with it, Todd.
Yeah, please listen. But there's so much to it. But I think one of the biggest things going for this comic. We've been talking about, and you talking about the story. There's big ideas, and there's a lot of the bombastic language. There's a lot of character designs and stuff. But this can't be said enough. It is very accessible by everyone. It's not like there are sometimes I look at fantasy books, sci-fi books. Well, actually, it happens more with sci-fi books, and I open them, and the world building is so dense that I don't know. I can't get into it. Do you know what I mean? That's just a problem with me. I can't. It's difficult to pass that sort of language. But like Godhark hits the ground running, and you're flowing with the story. Then, and I think it's listeners, if you haven't checked it out yet, it's well worth your time. And I got
good value.
I got to thank Dan. I got to thank Dan for it. So that's another mark.
Well, hopefully all the listeners will go out and start buying some copies.
Yeah,
because they really should do.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd love to get a physical of the first book. I know shipping prices are absolutely brutal at the moment, but
do
you do any international cons or anything like that, Sean? Or?
That's still a dream that we intend to fulfill. So. For the better half of the decade, I hope that we're able to do that because I would love to go. I would love to go to Singapore, the UK, SDCC, Emerald City, everything.
You want to get to Angoulême, man? That's where you need to get to.
Oh yeah,
the rights tent at Angoulême would be—they'd fucking snap this up.
Go nuts! Yeah.
I would. I mean, I think Godhark made it to France, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there was much fanfare around like that because because my publisher brought it over there and even took snapped a few pics of him with the Godhark poster, and I'm like, oh my god, it's in Angoulême. But I don't think he got but I don't think he got back to me with anything that I might hear. Okay. Yeah. So that I might like to hear. So yeah.
But do you have any? Are there any shows that you're planning to attend or would like to attend? I mean, I know we've got listeners like all over the world.
All over.
Yeah. Where can they see you in person?
I'm only doing local cons for now. Although I would like to really flex that the Gumroad is like such a good site. It's helped me through like a lot of times that I needed. I like it's great. Like Gumroad's a great platform. I can't thank it enough, and I can't thank you guys for supporting us on there. But I like the independence of like that because I feel like my art has a sort of voice in. I'm the kind of guy who unabashedly just posts everywhere, like Twitter, Instagram,
you got
Blue Sky, dude, like everywhere, and people are checking out the comic because I made issue 0 like free on purpose. So if they like it, they can go support the comic. If they don't, okay, it's not for you. But it's
a great tactic to do as well, like to do an issue and then just make it free. And then
we talked about that a lot recently. With the sort of ash cans as well.
It's almost like a pre-launch sort of thing to do, isn't it? It's sort of like, look, here you go, and the main story's coming soon.
Yeah,
So I mean, in terms of like Gumroad or where they can get hold of the book, where can people find you in the book?
Okay, so my art account is available in most sites. Most sites, you just have to search up Saint_Kyle, and more often than not, or 90% of the time, I will just post about Godhark and then give you the sites to Gumroad where you can buy it for. Yeah, you can buy digital copies on Gumroad. We're having trouble, admittedly, shipping out copies, especially to the US. So, I'll be updating everyone as to when those issues resolve. But yeah, you can get it on Gumroad. Just search Godhark on Gumroad, or just search Google Godhark Gumroad.
Such an easy name to remember as well.
Yeah, I'm really happy happy with it. Yeah, with everything.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see where it goes and the future.
Totally, man. Yeah.
Sean, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor, like talking with you guys. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
How good was that?
What a nice geezer.
Yeah.
Top geezer.
Lovely guy. Yeah. Do go check out that comic, Godhark, on Gumroad.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic comic.
Yeah. And Sean's just... He clearly loves making the comics, but also you can see that he just wants to go out there and do more conventions and just...
Make good comics, have a sense of humour, you're our friend forever.
Yeah.
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 Sound like a brother from another mother. Were you there, V? You both got very, very similar interests.
Maybe down the mosh pit together, weren't you? Kicking shit out of each other.
I can't do mosh pits anymore. Now I stand at the back just nodding vigorously.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a stand at the back nodding kind of guy. Yeah.
And then after a while, I'm like, my back hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going to see a band called Radio 4
Are you sure you weren't just listening to Radio 4?
No, that's me now. But years ago, I went and saw this band called Radio 4, and they've got this song that's got like that break in it, where the song stops for about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, Come Up and See Me, Make Me Smile, does it? And I knew it was coming up, so just as it happened, I shouted, "Go Britney," because I was drunk, really loudly, and fucking hell, they were not happy. You see the fucking band staring at me.
Oh, dear. It's Britney, bitch.
Dance the Underground, that's the name of it. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got plenty of comics to talk about, to recommend to you lovely people. All kinds of things, and we're looking forward to doing that. But before we do that, do we have any shout outs this week?
Yeah, got a few. Got a raft. Who is going to the London Comic Mart on the 5th of October? Are you going, Dan?
Oh, that'd be nice to do that, actually.
Yeah, you should convince.
I would.
That's next week.
But it's so expensive to travel at the moment, and I've got I don't want to get real world, but I've got a big fucking dental bill coming up so when we get to the show around that time, apologies listeners if I'm a bit spicy.
Save it. I'll just come around, pull the teeth out with a pair of pliers.
I don't need them taken out, Tony.
Oh, okay. There's a little crew going to it, so come along.
I would, because I really want to get back to a comic.
Yeah, it's good. Baltimore is on the horizon. Baltimore Comic Con. If you're going to be there, please let me know. I'm always on the hunt for new small press comics to talk about and talk to. And just, if you're just a listener, fuck me, man. I sent you the list, didn't I, earlier this week? Yeah, that's the best lineup at a comic convention you're going to get. I don't think you'll manage it better. So give me a shout out. Western Noir Tales, the Haunted Cowboy comic, is back.
Wow. As
well as writers Dave West and Gary Crutchley. There's some great artists on this. I've picked 3 out because they're our buddies. Mal Earl, he's always worth the price of admission. Just a class act and very, very idiosyncratic, and I just really enjoy his art. Ian Ashcroft's in it. Like, fuck me. Have you seen Ian's recent art on the Slack?
Oh, it's fucking amazing. No.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And to the three dudes here is Gustavo Vargas is in it as well, Marvel artist as we now call
there you
go. Yeah, so that's a nice little lineup. It's active on Kickstarter right now. Could do with a little bit of help, so go and have a look at that.
Yeah.
American Nature 3 is out this week from our friends at the Santos Sisters. Go get a copy. I'm in it, and Cliff has illustrated the little piece I put in it. So how cool is that? You got to buy that, haven't you? We're in that.
Is it the Eisner winning Santos Sisters?
The Eisner winning, yes, indeed. Yeah, our buddies. Yeah. What nice guys they are. They're super guys. DUI 4 is on the horizon. If you're contributing, a little message from Simon today. If you're contributing, then reach out to him. Just let him know the sort of state of play around what you're doing. And he's also looking for some other stuff. If you've got maybe a text piece or a small comic strip or something like that, fancy contacting him, then give him a shout. I'm hopefully going to help him with a bit of proofreading and stuff like that. I always like to get my hand in with the DUI.
Nice one.
And there's some really lovely stuff coming to him. There's some just really great stuff. We've got a little clue on who the cover artist is. In other words, he was on a couple of weeks ago. And there's a little rumour going around that NIA is going to be back at the podcast this week, which will be us talking shit as usual. So they're mine. There you go, guys.
Damn, what have you got?
I've got Cabrisini and Geek Girl Exodus complete crossover. Superheroes meet weirdness in the Geek Girl Cabrisini Voodoo Junkie Hitwoman crossover, which is actually smashed.
That's a mouthful.
How the fuck did you say all that without stumbling?
What happened to you? You've been practicing that.
Yeah.
This went
fucking look
professional.
on his face he just gave us.
Smug.
He gave us like
smug as fuck.
Just shook his head at us. Like fucking Don Corleone. He just shook his head at us. Yeah.
What you should be shaking your head at is Mahoneys
no,
issue 8.
Fuck you.
Mike and the gang are back for another issue of action, laughs, and supervillain shenanigans, plus an exclusive Volume 1 collection. I fucked that one up. Got a couple of days to go on that. That's actually smashed it. Do go check that one out. We've got Wart, a chaotic action fantasy comic, a standalone story about a monster royal family, their magic imp pet, and a violent teen rebellion by Nick Bryan and Lloyd, which is smashed his target. It's got a couple of days to go on that. Do go check that one out. And lastly, but not leastly, we've got the Remind Me page up on Kickstarter for Grim Scary Tales, Echoes of the Damned. 30 plus pages of grisly horror, comic book horror that if you back that we're hoping to get in your hands in and around Halloween so you can read it on the big day, so to speak. It's got myself in it, Kieran Squires, Cliff Cumber, and Dan Charnley. So
nice. Nice. Got the guest stars there as well.
Nice.
I've signed up to that. That's there to sign up for, innit? I did that today.
Yes. So you can do that link when it goes live. You get told, and it's all good and good. It's all but done, the comic. So
nice.
As soon as I kind of know numbers, get that in and get that out in the post.
Mate, you're not doing enough comics at the moment. I keep saying that about you. You need to pull your finger out, Daniel.
It's quite nice having this Grim Scary Tales to do every year because you get we do a Halloween comic every year.
Yeah,
we're talking the To Be Honest comics crew about what we've got planned for next year.
Guys, it's a year since me and Vince wrote for you. Fuck, that's gone quick, innit?
Yeah, it's gone quick, man.
Wow.
That'd be available if you didn't manage to get that Grim Scary Tales New Nightmares. You can buy that in this campaign too.
Yeah.
So,
also weren't good enough to be invited back, Vince. But you know,
right. Well, everyone's a shot at the title. You know what I mean? I got to spread the love around.
Jesus, calm down, Apollo Creed.
And that's all my shouts.
Nice.
Well done.
Nice. So, from all of that to go forth and check out this week's recommendation section. I'm scared to ask, but Tony, do you want to kick us off?
Yes. I've shown you the final panel of this comic, and we should be discussing it in mere minutes, gentlemen.
Yeah, degeneracy.
My first one is
content warning. Ants.
Yeah. Life warning.
Yeah.
You're the Centre of Attention, is it called? It's by Gina Wynbrandt. It's a mini Kush comic at €3.99. They're called mini Kush. They're very small, little zine kind of comics. And it comes out of I bought it in Latvia in Riga this week. A brutally honest but totally hilarious autobio fantasy comic is how I'm describing it. I'm going to run you through the whole story of this. Don't worry, it won't take long. But because I think that you need to realise where Gina sits, because I'm on board for Gina's comics, and I think there's much more coming. It opens with Gina, and she's in the makeup chair at a studio called Spanky Monkey Productions. See, already I'm in on this. I'm thinking, this is game on. And she's daydreaming. She's always wanted to be on TV, and she wants it all. She wants all of that. People at school to regret how they treated her. She wants magazine cover photo shoots. She wants licensing deals, and she wants that harem of hunky boys to go out with. And when she's daydreaming, an ant pops up on the desk in front of her, and he's called George, and he's a fan. He comes back later. He's a fan of her comics, and then she gets called into the studio for the TV show You're the Centre of Attention, strangely hosted by Willem Dafoe. He doesn't use that name, but it's clearly Willem Dafoe in this, who's hosting it. He's actually called Clark Daniel Dirk. That's a good name, isn't it? And if Gina can make it through a series of embarrassing challenges, she'll earn $10,000 and also be famous. And it starts out quite easy. She has to do a chicken dance, and you're thinking, this is going all right. She does like a little sort of wag your arms chicken dance. And then she has to run around a maze, acting like and barking like a dog. And then she has to sing a song in front of Simon Cowell. He turns up as well. So before the commercial break, she's doing all right. She gets turned down by Simon Cowell, but that's all part of the embarrassing way is part of this program.
Yeah.
And during the break, George turns up again to give her a bit of encouragement. And but the second half of the show isn't so easy. She has to read out her search history live on the show, and it includes, I wrote down a few of them: hemorrhoid relief. So this is things she's asking Google. Plus size slut clothes. She's a big girl. Is it normal that my fluids smell and taste like chicken stock?
Oh God.
Kevin Feige turns up to her that she should probably start coding rather than making comics. And the final one is they put a computer chip in her head and ask her why she wants to be famous. So she says, oh, it's to share art and make people feel free. And that's obviously bullshit. And they spot that. And they say it's actually because she's an insecure, self-obsessed freak who needs validation. So she fails at the final hurdle of this thing to win 10 grand and be famous. And she leaves. And George follows her out. And as part of it, just to cheer her up, he goes down on her in the final panel of the comic.
Real heartwarming stuff.
That's how all stories should end, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Stand By Me would have been a very different film, though.
Yeah.
The piano should have ended that.
Yeah. It starts violating the corpse at the end. He's like, what?
Kramer versus Kramer would have been a happier story if an ant appeared at the end of that fucking thing. Do you know what? We will occasionally deride certain autobio comics as being like just trying to present yourself to the world in this sort of idealized way that you want them to think you are, and get attention. And this is she's fucking lampooning these people.
Yeah,
she is just out there doing stuff. It's very readable. It's funny. It made us laugh. It made me laugh. And I'll give her a shout out for that. It is really good. You can find her on Instagram. It's easy to find and then it's WYNBR Wynbrandt. WYNBR. Look that up on Instagram and you'll find her stuff. Go and order it. I don't think everything she does is from Kush. She's done quite a lot of other stuff. I think Hal was telling me she's sort of sexually obsessed with baseball players. I think that's right. I haven't read that one, but I'd be up for reading that one as well. But I'm going to say should be a guest. Like you're making a comic like that, she'll scare the fuck out of us.
Happily fucking talk to that person.
Yeah. We're game for that. There you go. That's my first one, guys.
Nice. Dan, what have you got?
I got Skinbreaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a comic, not a medical illness. By
comic you did make a joke about a number earlier with this.
By Robert Kirkman and written by written by Robert Kirkman and drawn by David Finch. I got issue 1. There's a Treasury edition coming out.
There's a Treasury. Oh, okay.
There's a big old chunk of a Treasury edition out, and the reason I know quite a few of the slackers have gone in on it is because David Finch has done this. Every page is double the size of a normal page. So the ordinary comic page is shrunk down to fit the comic book size.
I need to order the Treasury of this then.
But he's done the fucking double size of it. And it tells a story. You can't really tell where it's set because it just goes straight off it. In this kind of alien jungle where a sort of a nomadic tribe, sort of an elder and a younger man are kind of hunting a beast to kind of prove the elder's still got it. And how the tribe is going to pass on succession, and there's kind of like rivals going for it. It's a big setup to the story, which I'm really interested to see it play out. I mean, I don't want to go through spoilers, but there's some really lovely moments in this. It's like, oh fucking hell, that's really gross, but it's really well done between the two of them. And like all the Kirkman's writing, he knows what he's doing, and he produces like a solid narrative that's like it's not rewriting the genre, but like as we said earlier, it's absolutely fucking competent and it's well done.
Is it based on Earth or is it on an alien planet or something, or is it?
Well, they're all kind of like they've got like ears that are pointed and sticking out to the side, and they've got like snouts rather than noses.
Okay.
And they've got like a kind of orange tan skin. So they're definitely not, they're humanoid, but they're not humans.
Right. Okay.
And the monsters and fauna are all kind of
humans?
alien and different.
Yeah, I said that in a weird way, but
Yeah.
I got what he meant.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Apologise.
Ragging on Dan Week this week.
Apologise for nothing.
But David Finch has kind of spent years producing this comic, putting this much detail in. And I was just like, why not just do less detail and two more comics? Because there's a ridiculous amount of detail in these pages.
I know we talked about this earlier, and I kind of think it's because he's known for it. Do you think?
Maybe. Trouble is, say you get known for, he's the detail guy, and in this comic, he's done it's double the size of the artwork. What are you going to do for the? How do you follow this one up? Do you 3 times? Do you 4?
Yeah. You don't think it's an OA thing, do you?
Maybe that could be.
It sure does look beautiful, though. It sure looks great. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice to look at. My only one
is that enough? Do you think, Dan? Do you think that's enough?
I don't know. I feel like you got to find, maybe this is kind of me being like kind of the more the workman approach as opposed to the artist approach. Is like you got to get the fucking book out the door, and if you're spending years and years and years getting 1 or 2 issues done, I was like, man, why not just cut down on some of the detail, which is lovely, but if you're having to go double the size of the page and then shrink it all down to get, why not just do a normal page but make it really detailed and just.
I mean, that's down to the choice of the individual artist, isn't it?
True.
And like, some of them are so labour intensive.
That's Kirkman new.
Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, comics have been getting like this for a long time anyway. Yeah, especially with the influences of European artists and stuff, where they do not scrimp on detail. But the thing about a lot of those sort of European books is they'll do 1 a year or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the Western system seems to be more of a we've got a monthly. I think maybe with the sort of points you're making, Dan, like with this, should it have been maybe an oversized complete
OGN done with the Treasury edition straight off the rip. Like there's the Treasury edition. You can get
there's
it.
There's a lot of Treasuries coming out. It's a thing now.
But how many issues? That's just one issue, is it? Is it, or is that just?
Yeah, they're doing that with single issues now. Sometimes they're doing like an oversized.
Whereas I'm thinking like, if a book like this after so many years instead comes out as like a collection, like a monster. Do you know what I mean? Take that where it's just one thing. Would more people be talking about it as like, this is an unbelievable work of art that everyone needs to check out because look at all the detail that's in every one of these pages? But will people glaze over it because it's a monthly that may not see more than a couple of issues?
It's going to be at least bi-monthly, isn't it? Is it a black and white Treasury?
It doesn't say. I've only got a picture of it, and it's a full page that's got like the colour that says Legend Treasury edition, so I couldn't tell you.
I mean, Finch is an unbelievable artist.
So like some of the blurb in the back, we've got this is from about halfway through. I told David when we started this project that I wanted this series to be a real artist showcase. I wanted this book to be something people would hold up for years as an example of some real comics masterpiece. With that in mind, David decided to draw this book on massive artboards. Each page is essentially a 2-page spread. Each 2-page spread is roughly 4 pages in size, so every single page is often double or triple the work. You can see how lush and dense the jungle is on the preceding pages. Because of this, the work on this series took, an appropriate amount of time. But I want to assume that all that time has passed. We've been quietly working on this book for 8 years.
Oh, so it's ready all to come out.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's
fine.
I think
I'm better with that.
Yeah, I think that's down to also Kirkman knowing the publishing model so well. It's sort of like...
Mate, you can't fucking do one issue and then wait years for the next issue.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like Kirkman's ever done that, has he? Has he ever really done anything where it's like, right, here's our series, by the way, we've only got 2 issues, and then you're going to have to wait fucking ages. Normally, I mean, for instance, Firepower, they must have been working on Firepower for quite some time, because that came out pretty on a rip, didn't it?
It must be hard, because you're you're paying. I don't know how. For me, the margins in comics seems quite tight. So you're paying out money for a title for years and years before it even gets anywhere near recouping costs.
Mind you, Kirkman, look what happened to Battle Beast. Battle Beast fucking sold through the roof.
Yeah. And that's also, Otley on that is doing fucking
stellar work.
Another level. And
I caught up on that this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm fucking so behind on that. I'm really kicking myself.
It's so fucking good. But that's also, it's almost like Kirkman's now in this stage of like, I know I'm going to write a good story.
He's got fuck you money, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like, I know I'm going to write a good story, so let's get some of the best fucking artists that there are out there, and let's do something. Do
See, that's another thing. His books, Ghost Machine books, are doing exactly the same. Why are they on all the fucking awards lists? Why not people talking about them all the time?
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. Skybound and Ghost Machine, I think, are putting out some of the best.
Oh, massive. You think of the Transformers books and all that sort of thing. Energon Universe.
Yeah, it's fucking unreal. Unreal.
We've got Rook coming back, haven't we?
Oh, I can't wait. That's next month. Seven's out next month.
And that's another example. Like, that's an artist who I think David Finch certainly has been an influence for an artist like that. Do you know what I mean?
We need that. We need an extra size fucking collection of that.
Is it Fabok?
Yeah, Fabok. Yeah, I think Fabok.
It's absolutely fucking lovely, that book.
That's my favourite, I think, of the Ghost Machines. I love them, nearly all of them, but that's my favourite. I caught up on Hyde Street this week, and that's a good book.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to see any more Junkyard Joe, I quite like that trade.
He's currently in Geiger.
Yeah, he pops up. He's going to be popping up other titles. He's in Geiger at the moment.
Yeah, he's part of the team. Yeah.
Okay.
But Junkyard Joe's it was a perfect book.
Yeah, I kind of think that story was enough for me.
Yeah,
almost like I'm sort of almost tensing that they're going to fuck him up every time he appears in.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, Dan. Yeah.
And it's
you've done him so well and left him at such a high point.
Yeah.
You got to be careful not to diminish that.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Like, you got to do a Godfather 3. That's what they've got to be careful of.
These characters build up these creators. They build up these characters that we love so much that we actually get concerned that the creators that have built them up are then going to spoil them a little bit. And that may be because we've been burned by other things in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
But it goes to show we're invested in the fucking stories, which is what we were talking about before the interview. Yeah. That's what we should be.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, how many times has like a creator done something absolutely amazing and it's like, oh, that was really good, do it again. Like, well, I don't really want to. And then they get kind of their arm bent and they're like, oh, it's not quite as good.
Yeah.
And it's like,
the new Powers was pretty good. I was okay with it. I'm holding my breath for the next few issues though. I enjoyed the first series so much.
Yeah, the thing about someone like Ghost Machine, they had a plan. They've got a plan. They had a fucking timeline. So
and they're keeping to it seemingly.
So you know what I mean. So it's interesting how it all mixes together. And some of the books are going to be for you, and some of them aren't, and that's completely valid. So
but craft. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Craft is what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And those books are fucking soaring.
Yeah,
for me, craft wise.
Yeah.
It's the quality of writing and art and.
Yeah.
Boom. Enough said.
Yeah.
End of.
I'm gonna.
I might start working them in as one of my catchphrases.
Yeah, I think that works for you as well.
Yeah.
So I met somebody. I think Jan had an Arnie fucking t-shirt on when I met her in How the other day, and I said, "I've got a friend. He communicates only in Arnie gifs."
Yeah.
Still lives in my memory when you said to Eamon, Dan mostly talks in Arnie gifs, and he asked me, saying, "And I was sent back, no problemo." Every Arnie.
And I hadn't even told you.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, my first recommend, and then an honourable mention I'm going to do just after, before we Tony signs us off, is one that I read on Global. It was volume 1. It was an entire book, 96 pages. This is called Shadow Planet. Have you heard of this one?
No.
Who's this by? What publisher?
This was Image. Published by Image. The story was Gianluca the Italian creators, as I'm sure, and I'm going to murder the names. I apologize.
Just try it with an accent, Vince. That's helping.
No, I'm not going to. What kind of accent? Cockney? No, Gianluca Pagliarini, and the script. And Giovanni Barbieri, who's the artist. So the artist and the writer worked together on the story. Barbieri wrote it, did the script, and Pagliarini did the art. I'm really confusing myself. I'm just staring at these fucking names on this iPad in front of me, and I'm just thinking I'm going to mess up every time. Colour by Alan D'Amico. Right. Okay. This is a sci-fi horror. And the synopsis is: the crew of the rocket Vidar lands on a barren planet to rescue a lost patrol, but what they find can destroy mankind. The Shadow Planet is a unique take on retro futurism, a story of Lovecraftian horror in space. And that's all it says about it. The first page, and I just thought, oh, cool, this would be good, you know. Got my cup of coffee, got my iPad out, going to enjoy this. Sat on the sofa. Swipe the first page. Sexy.
Well, almost.
Not far, but like a full-on page of two people having sex.
Joe looks over. You watching porn again?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been that. I had to swipe right, and it was still going.
Okay.
But the scene soon turns to one of sort of horror, and which beautifully sets up a splash page, which then gives you the title card, for want of a better term, which is beautifully designed. And then we cut to someone's having a nightmare, and then you meet this small crew of this little ship. I don't want to spoil too much of it. I think a lot of people should read this. It feels it's a very European book. The retro futurism that, you know, they're on this planet, but their spacesuits are really more like, I don't know, something you have in a Forbidden Planet, not the shop. But
okay.
You know when they're almost like divers suits with like little helmets and stuff like that. It's that kind of vibe. A beautifully detailed art.
I always think that's the kind of spacesuit Andy Clift's good at drawing.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of
absolutely.
think.
Love it, Andy Clift. You know, and just red is very much the theme of this. Even though it's called the Shadow Planet, the planet itself is red, and there's also that color scheme in terms of like the spacesuits they wear. There's lots of different hues. It's a very clean line. When we talk about science fiction, you know, almost that Jeff Darrow clean line to it, where, you know, you can see the pipes, you can see the gears, you can, you know, everything feels tactile, but like concept art come to life. So it's a beautiful book to look at. There's, as the story goes on, there's paranoia, there's elements. I certainly didn't read the synopsis. The Lovecraftian horror bit is just, I think that's a bit of a cheap shorthand for people who don't know what they're getting in for. There's body horror. There's some horrific. There's some, well, I say horrific. It's bloody lovely gore going on. The survivor, the lost patrol, something happened to them. When we see what's happening there, there's lots of the way the mystery sort of plays out, as well as paranoia between. It's got these little sort of sci-fi, you know, they've gone there for one thing, and as the story goes on, they get a bit more paranoid, and they're not sure what's going on, and something is on this planet, and it's ancient, and there's weird things going on. It took me by surprise. I was just in it, and I just kept going. I kept swiping right. There was character deaths that I didn't expect. It's a one and done, just hit. This isn't an ongoing story. This is, and the way it ends, I was like, nice. The cover that you'll see, which is a nice piece of art, but it didn't really supremely jump out at me. And you can buy this just any store at the moment. I think it was released on September the 24th, so it's pretty new. But if you like that sort of it's almost like old school visual storytelling and design with modern comic book mastery, because it really is. It's a masterful sort of book, really, and just those inspirations, you know, from retro sci-fi to the eldritch horror and the monster, the body hunt. You know, if you want to mash together science fiction films from the 50s with something like The Thing from the 80s, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That kind of stuff. it's going to be for you. Shadow Planet, like I say, went completely under the radar. I don't think if you saw the book on the shelves, even the way that the Shadow Planet, the masthead of the book, just doesn't really jump out. But nor should it be it doesn't need to be a title that shouts too much. But I think it's
hard getting noticed these days on the shelves, isn't it? That's the thing.
It deserves more love. So if you see it, if you see it on the shelves, open it up and look through, and you might pick it up. That's what I've got to say. And the other sort of honourable mention was I picked up issue 1 of The Phantom from Mad Cave.
Oh yes,
Comics. The Ghost Who Walks Again.
This is on Global Comics, did you just say?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know Alan Lister was talking about it. Yeah.
Ray Fawkes and Russell Olsen, our old pal Russell, who's taken up art duties on this, revive the character for fans old and new. When a violent gang of smugglers stumbles on an idyllic Bandar village, the peace that the Phantom has brought to the African nation of Bangala will suddenly shatter. It will take all of the Phantom's many skills and allies to restore it. The most exciting series of the year starts here. They always say that, don't they? Because every series of the year starts somewhere, and it's always the most exciting.
Yeah. So it's got to be the first issue too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Russell on a pulp book is fucking match made in heaven. It's just perfect for this kind of title. I haven't read anything by Fawkes. I'm going to continue with this story.
Okay.
But the one thing I will say about this is it's always like introducing this character for a new generation. You know, like that's what they always say, don't they? When it comes back and they're going to hit the ground running.
There's been a few attempts, hasn't there, recently?
Yeah.
With this character, I'm going to say in the last 10 years, rather.
Yeah. Now there is an element of I've got some knowledge of the character, not loads. Certainly not any more than some of our lovely listeners who will know a lot more than me and will have read a lot more Phantom comics than me. I've always had an outside interest, probably from my Defenders of the Earth days, to be fair.
There used to be a great Twitter account that was The Phantom. Did you ever, back in the glory days of Twitter, when it used to be like a parody account? This. And someone asked, how do you get the internet in the jungle? And they always posted a picture of an old school panel when the Phantom went to the edge of the jungle and hooked into the telephone lines. And it was that's how he does it.
Amazing.
I got a feeling this was Free Comic Book Day. Part of this was as well, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. But this one though, or did they do an issue 0? They might have done an issue 0.
It was definitely at least part of it's the Phantom by these two was Free Comic Book Day. I'm not sure if it's what's in the comic you've got in front of you. If you see what I mean.
Also, Taylor Esposito is the letter on it. I've neglected. My reservation with this, it's a great, fun, rollicking, exactly a pulpy book. But if you don't, it was okay for me because I had some sort of idea of what the character was. And I think this may be a problem with a lot of pulp characters when they're trying to make these new characters. If you want to sell this to a new audience, you've kind of got to tell them what their deal is.
Yeah.
What the deal is, almost from the rip. Even if you did it in a glorious sort of it was a time of heroes. You did something like that. Just something that just sort of says, oh, when Peter Parker was a mild-mannered student. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Because it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird fucking concept of a man running around in what appears to be an all spandex covering in the jungle.
Yeah,
it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's not even like Tarzan,
and he's got guns. He's got guns.
Purple spandex is very kind of
yeah.
Sponsored by Ribena, but but it's got such a look. He's one of those ones that's always had a better visual look for me. But sometimes
is he a white dude or a black dude? Because he was a black dude at the end.
He's a white dude now. He's gone. I think
gone back to being
and
white
and
dude.
it's sort of. There are moments in the issue 1 where two characters are interacting, and there's he's interacting with people, and I feel like I should have known who they were, and I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as an issue 1, is that a miniature failing? Because then are you only doing this Phantom issue for fans of the Phantom, or do you really want to introduce the Phantom to a new audience?
That's a dwindling number of people, fans of the Phantom. Yeah. It's like saying fans of Dick Tracy. It's a similar thing to that, isn't it? There's not many people remember.
Dying out.
I mean,
even the movie's like 30 odd years ago.
But the Dick Tracy, that had a pretty effective issue 1. I need to go back.
I caught up with that over the weekend. It's still pretty good. Yeah, still pretty good. Yeah.
I tried watching the fucking film. I couldn't fucking get through it. It's really.
He makes one every couple of years, doesn't he? Apparently, he does like a thing on Zoom that he records. Yeah.
So I'm certainly interested to see where this goes, but it's just that reservation of like, it's okay for me, but where is the growing audience?
We had that. Was it Dynamite did that sort of little offshoot series, didn't he? Do you remember I kept getting credited in them all?
Yes.
And at the end of that, he was, I think his partner, his like assistant, took over as him. At the end of that, so they're obviously rebooted it straight back.
Yeah, I mean, Mad Cave, much like, I guess.
It's Mad Cave, of course it is.
It's Mad Cave, right. So, so they're shepherding it in for a whole new generation, which is cool.
But hasn't he been part of the Defenders of the Earth series that's been going on separately by them as well? So maybe that's where they're threading some of the history. But if you ain't read it, you read all the Mad Cave books.
I haven't read any of the Defenders of the Earth stuff, which is maybe down to my bias of I've got my cartoon that I love. Do I really want to read the comic of the cartoon? Do you know what I mean? That's just a personal thing for me. Just
bring back Billy Zane.
I've got my Slam Evil, and I think that's where we're going to finish. That
is Catherine Zeta-Jones in that?
Yep.
No, that's right. Yeah, she was a bit all right.
She is. Yeah.
Worth watching. So Tony, what's your last one?
Better than Red 2, which she's terrible in. So my last one is Black Demon Tales Mechanika. It's out of Amp Chispa Publishing. I had a little look at these guys. Chispa, as they were sort of new to me, and I think they're new to Global Comics, from what I can understand, which is where I read this.
Yeah,
they've
dropped quite a few, actually.
They've dropped about 5 or 6, haven't they, on there? And it comes up on the front page, so that's how I noticed them. And Chispa is a Spanish language slang word for spark or gleam. There you go. It was founded as a Latino imprint for comics from the LA-based Mucho Mass Media. It definitely falls into that new to me. I think they've been about for a while, though. And they're aiming for representation for Latinos, and their lead comics writer is Hector Rodriguez III. That's a cool name. He's the writer on this. He does a cover too, and he does the letters. So he's a hard-working geezer. Cover A is by Hugo Petros. The illustrator is Vincenzo Sansoni. Colours by Guillermo Villarreal. And the editor is David Bowles. There's a few shark books about at the moment. They've even got a couple of shark books about. They all seem to be around this Black Demon kind of theme.
And a year or two ago, and I know there was in the back of one, there was an advert for the movie that came out.
Oh, is this a movie? Is it? I didn't know that.
The Black Demon. The Black Demon is a famous legend. It is a legend, and of course they made. I think Josh Lucas is in it. It wasn't a Hollywood. It wasn't a Hollywood movie, but they made a big movie of it.
Oh, well, I've looked for that. Yeah. Because I think I read one of these about 3 years ago, 3 years ago, about one of the other books.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I think I might have read them under Comixology Submit or maybe something like that. The old brain's getting a bit foggy these days.
Yeah.
So it opens on a group of scientists in a workshop in the mountains of Mexico, and they're looking at this shark mech. This is why I fucking went for this. Shark mech versus massive Carthago style, massive fucking beast shark.
Put a fucking Megalodon in, and we're in.
We're always in, yeah. And they're looking at this shark mech, and there's and it's kind of like humanoid, more massive humanoid arms and legs, but with that sort of shark head. A bit like King Shark, a bit like that, but a mecha. And the narration tells of this El Dominico Negro, a shark of godlike proportions that has terrorized fishermen for centuries. And an alarm goes off, and the narration says, "It's time to kill a god." And I thought, fuck yes, that's a good line. I like that. And there's a woman, and she's got these strange orange eyes with almost like little blades rather than eyelashes. And you sort of close up in her eyes, and you realise she's this she's going to fight it, and she's going to get into this mech called La Mechanica Demonica. Spanish sounds so much better than English, doesn't it? Sometimes.
Completely. Especially the way we
I'll do it with the accent in a minute.
Yeah.
And they take off to the coast of Porto Velata just as the Megalodon surfaces and the mech is deployed, and literally jumps out of a helicopter and punches this shark on the face. And I think that's all you want. It's got these big
awesome.
fucking hands, and but while there's this really lovely twist in it, and I have to say this is another Ashcan, so this isn't a full issue. So I'm gonna tell you what happens in it because there's a tease for in it the first issue.
Okay.
So, I mean, so it's an Ashcan like we talked about last week with what was it called again? Deluge. This is a similar sort of thing. So she's in the water in this mech fighting it, and she says it's changing, and this massive demon shark is evolving in front of her, and it's developing like numerous eyes and like spines that run the length of its body. And she's saying to them, it's fucking something's happening. It's evolving in front of me. And they're saying, we can't see anything on the scanners. We can't see anything on the scanners. Next thing you know, she's done. And she wakes up back in the lab. And it's a lovely little first issue. I think I definitely immediately. It's one of those books, we get this sometimes that we immediately need it. It's the next issue.
Yeah, so you just want to read, you'll carry on reading. Yeah.
Just want to keep getting it. Good storytelling, nice clean art. They use a different kind of lettering for the scientific stuff and the humans, and for her as well, because she saw this hybrid, and but not enough to take you out of the story. That's what you've got to be careful with that lettering, haven't you? They use a sort of almost like a background to the boxes being slightly different. So the text stuff is in that green language we're used to for old heads like us who used to use computers that had green backgrounds. So there's a little bit like that. It's kind of thematically fine. So brilliant, loved it, really good. The only thing I worry a bit about Global Comics sometimes, and see what you guys think, but I worry that a company will put a load of comics on there. They put like 5 or 6 comics on there. And I went to their site just to do a little research, and I discovered that the first issue of this is out already. So are they using Global Comics, and do companies, just in more in general terms, use Global Comics to promote their comics so people will go elsewhere to buy them? But for us, that's more difficult because this is a LA-based company. How are we going to buy the comics? It's more difficult for us.
Yeah.
But as somebody who pays money every month to Global Comics to, read serial comics come out every month, that's how it works in a model. We're just going there, and it's almost like a promotional tool.
So you get issue 1. But
there's
we spoke about Global Comics, and I've got some real mixed feelings about it.
But also, like, we don't. It's gonna sound like whinging, but we don't. I don't want to use it to buy comics through Global Comics. I love discovering creators and then fucking following them, and fucking Lizzie Parsec and all. We've discovered creators and followed them, and now we're invested in them. But I don't want to shop from Global Comics because I've got the subscription to read on Global Comics.
We pay them money to read comics on there. We don't pay them money to go and buy comics.
And also, if I buy a comic for £5 whatever, that's not going to be around forever. This service won't be around forever. So that will go. The Comixology stuff is like, I don't. No,
I just feel like they're changing the deal on us a bit.
Yeah.
And it's not completely down to Global Comics. Part of this may be just Chispa, who is saying we're going to put some comics on there, see how they do. But then again, issue 1 of this is already out and has been about for a while. So they knew what they were doing when they put a little teaser thing on there for it.
Have you seen that, that issue, The Dusk by Chispa, on there? That looks really cool.
Is that the horror one with the
it's the superhero one.
Oh, I read the first issue of that. It's okay.
Yeah, looks like.
I don't know if Global Comics has got an option to tick, like, I don't want to see anything you got to pay for. Like, I just want what's included in my sub. Yeah. Because, like, when like you said, Vince, you flick down, like, new comics, and it's like, oh, I've got to fucking
when
pay
I go to the new
this.
releases, especially, and, I do love these bigger publishers, but I go to the new releases because I'm looking through the hay to find the needle. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for a new comic, a new creator.
Looking for the sweet corn, aren't you?
Yeah, looking for the sweet corn in the shit. It really is. It is. Because I'm looking for new comics. I'm looking for new voices, and because of this, there's people from all over the world on here. But when DC dropped a shitload of action comics on there that you could buy for 99p, and we're talking old vintage what age was it? Was it bronze? I can't remember what metal it was, but it was the old stuff, really old stuff. And because they were all 99p, that essentially just took up the entire new releases section. So I was like, what? I can't.
Yeah.
You'd be better off buying a monthly sub to the DC app, and then you could read all that in one bounce up to your heart's content.
Much better.
And that's what, like, is that $10 or £10 for a month?
Yeah.
So you could, like, rather than buy 10-ish single issues, just fucking buy a month's app and blast through them all.
Yeah. I mean, I know we were talking about Mad Cave just a minute ago. I mean, it feels like Mad Caves are one of the publishers that's
one of the few on there.
They're the one that's doing it the way that we
IDW do that, I think, as well, off the top of my head.
But Mad Cave, what are they like in terms of like UK stores on the shelves? Do you see them much? You know, this is the way that we get them. Isn't it really?
Yeah, unless you pre-order through Diamond or the UK Diamond we have for those in America. We still have UK Diamond, but yeah.
I think publishers still finding their feet on what to do with global.
Yeah, I think the problem is we had it back off Mike, didn't we? Off someone who had comics on there that they weren't seeing the return quite yet from it. But then again, that's listening to a creator moan about he's not getting paid enough for comics is not something we can work out.
Yeah,
how genuine that is. Certainly. Yeah.
So, big sharks. That's what we want more of.
Mate, fuck mech shark fighting megalodon. Who isn't into that? If you're not into
fucking
that,
great.
fucking check your pulse.
Ace.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, check your pulse. And you'll have to check your pulse after this week's episode because hot damn, it's been so full of great comic content. And thank you very much for listening, everyone. It's been a real fun one. And do you know what? I feel rejuvenated. I feel something in the air.
Pumped.
I've had a day of it, man. I've had a weekend of just fucking loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. We've got plenty more coming on the run up to Christmas, and of course there'll be a little Halloween special at the end of October. Not doing a full-on horror month this one, but you will hear some new voices and potentially a creator that we have spoken about a little bit recently due to a certain anthology. So I don't want to put any.
Oh yeah, and a TV show.
And a TV.
See if he's up to scratch. Doesn't quite work that, but.
But there is plenty more coming for October, November, December, and onwards. But if there's any particular topics, or what have you got coming up at the end of this year, on to the next year? What are your plans? What creative things do you want us to talk about? Several different ways you can get in touch with us. You can email us, awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. Thank you very much for all the emails we've been getting in. By the way, we've been getting a lot of emails and going through them, and if one of us is checking, like I don't always.
Some lovely comments been sent in.
Yeah, if I don't check for a week, all of a sudden someone else is picking it up, and there's lots of comics flying around.
Live in the line, baby.
Thank you very much for
stuff.
that. Yeah, absolutely love that publisher, and a great guest too. So
really nice guy.
Yeah,
really
awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. Get in touch with us that way. You can follow us on social media at awesomecomicspod on Insta, at the awesomepod on X. Thank you for listening to us, whether it's on the website awesomecomics.podbean.com. We're on Apple Podcasts. Just leave a nice review. It helps get the word out about the show, algorithms.
Always think of reposting us, guys.
Yeah.
Whether it be anywhere, including Substack at the moment, it seems to really help the numbers. Just please do.
Yeah. And we're also on Spotify, likewise. Amazon, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife. What other networks are we on, Tony?
The network. Dan, did I hear someone call you Diddy Booty Butcher?
No, I fucking.
What about Memphis Booty Muncher?
We train together. We bang guys together.
No, we don't fucking do that.
Go Rampage Jackson. People, his stream winding him up is the fucking best videos on Instagram.
It's fucking genius. We love it. Yeah.
It's certainly.
We're such children enjoying reels, aren't we?
Yeah.
This is not a Diddy party.
We were just talking about the short attention span of a lot of people, and we're feeding into it. But you lovely people have not had a short attention span. You've been listening to this whole show, and we hope you've enjoyed it. And by the way, if you want to support the show, as well as getting the word out about the show, there's new gear.
Oh, yeah.
There's new gear.
Is that gone in the shop then?
We've started. There's a couple of new shirts that have just been.
I'll stick that in. I'll stick the link in tomorrow.
Yeah. ACP gear.
There's,
Redbubble.
There's some old classics there, but there's a couple of new ones, and I've got some more designs in the way Basically, threads you can wear just to fucking shout the colours of I like comic books, so fuck off. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's actually not one of the designs. But
if I see you wearing an ACP t-shirt at Baltimore, I'll give you a badge.
Nice.
I wonder what you're gonna say then.
Getting gear.
And a reach.
That's what I'm saying.
What? Yeah.
So please support the show because we really do appreciate it, and also it keeps us in blue M&Ms and
helps us support other people.
Yeah.
Fuck brown M&Ms.
And it pays for Dan's methamphetamine addiction.
And the Diddy parties he has every week.
No, just want to be clear. That's Ken Dodd's Diddy Men, not P Diddy.
Ken Dodd's dad's dogs died.
Wow. First Dan blew my mind with the wordplay, and now Tony has.
He used to say that on the wall. He used to say that at the wall at White Hart Lane. Ken Dodd's dad's dogs died, and people would go Diddy, and they didn't know Doddy.
That's what you get every week on the show. Highbrow entertainment.
Yeah.
So where
Haikus.
Can people find us online, etc.? Tony?
neveronanything.com or Tony Ez on Substack, or if you look up the Awesome Comics Podcast on Substack, you can find us there as well.
Nice. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that one. And join the Slack community, by the way.
Oh yeah, should we join that? That's on fire at the moment. Really nice.
And if you're not quite sure what Slack is, it's basically well, that's the best way to describe it.
Old school forum board.
It's
basically
like an old school forum board. You can get an app on your phone. People use it as it's a work-based messenger, essentially that kind of thing. But there's different. But we use it for the only right way, and that's for talking about comics. There's a wonderful community of people on there talking about collaboration.
There's a link on the bottom of our Substack. When we next do a message, there's a link on the bottom there.
Yeah. So sign up for that. And
everyone's welcome. Just don't be a wanker.
Yeah. Which is the story of our lives. Dan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Vanguard Comic at the Diddy Party, or you can read Vanguard at vanguardcomic.com.
You can find me on social media at Jester Diablo. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. It's been another fun one, and get ready for more because we're just getting started. Actually, well, we've been doing this for 10 years now.
We've been doing this, 10 fucking years.
10.5 years.
Oh.
I know.
Man.
We had,
those fucking accolades rolling in, the money.
Yeah.
Not yet, obviously.
Checks.
No. Yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for that check to come in for 9 years, 11 months.
Since they had checks. Since those checks existed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting for a postal order. That's what I'm waiting for.
My mum sent me one.
Yeah.
It's £10 for your birthday. Don't spend it all at once.
I still do that when it's people's birthday. If I send them a birthday card, I'll sellotape 50p into the card. I always do that because it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah, every penny counts.
Can't even get a fucking chocolate bar with that nowadays.
God, Dan's going off on one. Have a brilliant week, everyone. Read loads of comics, make loads of comics. Enjoy the comics you're making, wherever you are in the world. We love you very much, and from everyone here at ACP Towers, Dan, Tony, and myself. I guess, what else should they do, guys?
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.